welterweight championship, an absolutely cracking fight between Conor Benn and Samuel Vargas that was just actually complaining about the mural of himself over there that apparently doesn't really look like him. I'm sorry about that, you know, I'll speak to the artist later and reprimand him, okay? This is such a fantastic fight, a huge step up for Conor Benn. When you look at the resume of Samuel Vargas and the level of opposition he's been in with, Conor, I just said to you there off microphone, you look fantastic, you look bang on the weight, ready to go. This is a fight to be really excited about.
Oh, I mean, definitely, this is definitely one for the fans. I mean, I'm chomping at the bit. Do you know what I mean? It's a fight I've been calling for a long time now. And this is another fight where I get to show my levels, my experience. I mean, you can judge me on my last performance, the performance before that, but I'm always improving, I'm always evolving, learning from previous fights, mistakes that I've made, I'm always growing, working hard. And this is the sort of fight where, you know, I really do show my levels and show what I'm capable of. Again, we don't know the ceiling to my career. We don't know, you know, where the limit is, because I come into this game raw, come into this game naive, and you know, there was so much to learn, but I'm learning. And you know, I plan on displaying all of that come Saturday night.
We know it's never friendly for you, and although there's no animosity with Samuel Vargas, I quite get the feeling that, you know, you may not want to say it now, but you like the way this guy fights, and that's one of the reasons. You've been asking me for this fight for about a year now. You know, you felt that this fight would gel into a fantastic fight, and let's be honest, you're both going to get stuck in on Saturday night. This is going to be non-stop action from the first.
Yeah, that's without question, mate. I mean, if you watch Vargas fights, I mean, he comes and he brings it. And then, you know, so do I. And that's what I love about a fight. Of course, he's tested at a higher level. And, you know, of course, he's got experience on me. But everyone I fight moving forward is going to have experience on me. I'll always go into the fight the less experienced fighter because of my lack of amateur background, because I'm only 24. And people will question that, and it's my job to prove them wrong. And it's my job to get in there and do a number on him Saturday night. But you know, it's going to be my hardest night's work. Of course it is. I know what he brings. He's a tough South American who loves to fight, fights with his heart on his sleeve. You've got to give him credit where it's deserved. And you know, credit where it's due, and I do.
We know that you've always done big numbers, whether it's the viewing figures, whether it's across social media, but do you feel now as well, you're emerging now, we talk about future stars of British sport, not just the fact that you're a name because of who your old man was, but as a fighter, you are really at the top of that new crop coming through. This fight can take you to even a whole nother level. We know there's still a long journey to go as well, but when you talk about big standout British boxing stars, you are right at the top of the tree, and a good performance on Saturday can really cement that position.
Yeah, I mean, I keep getting asked now about, you know, other fights. Oh, what about XYZ when you get through? But listen, I made the mistake once in my career of, you know, looking past opponents. And you know what happened? I hit the deck twice, and it turned out my hardest night's work in my career. So, you know, don't get me wrong. I'm fully focused on Vargas. Fully focused on Vargas. I know what he brings. I know what he presents, and I know he's in there to win, and he's in there to you know, show me how it's done. But you know, I've been training hard for this fight. I've been working hard. I've been visualising this fight, and I'm ready to go, man. Whatever he brings, I'll match it. And you know, it's going to be at some stage of the fight a nice shootout.
Sam, welcome back, mate, and Lee Baxter and your team as well. Pleasure to have you here. You gave us one of the scariest moments against Amir Khan. I saw an interview saying you wish you would have jumped on him a little bit more in that fight. It was a knockdown at the end of the first round. I just remember that moment of sitting there. I had Amir Khan's dad on my right, and you just put him on his backside, and I just felt an arm on my leg as if to go, oh! You know, the whole arena that night couldn't believe it, and that was a great fight against Amir Khan. You're ready now to take advantage of this opportunity. We know you're always in tremendous shape. You're ready to go on Saturday.
Yeah, man, I'm blessed. You know, I'm happy I had a good training camp. That night in particular, it was like bittersweet. You know, it came so close, but you know, it wasn't meant to be that night. I feel like everything is falling into place for me to have a great show Saturday night. I put my higher soul into this training camp, working with Bones Adams. Had a lot of surrounding experience, lots of rounds in the gym, and I'm really excited to get here. The first time I meet Conor, I see him in person. And yeah, the moment is here. It's time.
I know you and Bones will study Conor Benn. I guess the big, you know, defining factor here for you, guess, in your opinion, from your team, could be the level of experience in this fight. Of course, your losses have come right at the elite level. You know, Errol Spence, Danny Garcia, Collazo, Amir Khan. This is a young man may have the ability to get to those kind of levels, but when you think about, and even last time out, you know, against Virgil Ortiz, you know, another guy that's ready to fight for world titles. Do you look at Conor Benn and think this might be a little bit too early, this kind of level for him?
I don't really compare him or I was 24 once. I was young. I was at that age once upon a time. And when I look at myself then, I look at myself now, I just laugh at myself, to be honest. But you'll see that for yourself. I mean, I just think I bring too much. I'm going to bring too much in the ring for him. Yeah.
And he's very exciting to watch in a fight. He loves to stand and trade. He loves to get involved, never in a dull fight. Very similar to yourself as well. Is that what the fans should expect on Saturday night?
Yeah.
I mean, I know you'll have a game plan, but ultimately, you know, we expect fireworks on Saturday.
It's kind of sad we didn't have fans in the venue. I was actually looking forward to having a lot of fans. I think I messaged you actually, because it would have been, even though a lot of it would have been well for me, it would have been a great energy, because you need that energy. And the fans here in London have a lot of love and support, so I'm thankful for it. And yeah, this is a fan-friendly fight. You know, he fights, I fight my ass off. I fight for my family, for everything I have, for the desire to win and the desire to become better and be better at life and boxing. And so there's so many motives I have to fight for.
Just finally as well, important in this fight, we know that you're a guy that's sometimes taken opportunity at late notice as well. Great camp for this fight, plenty of notice for you and your team. You know, it's a fight that we've talked about probably for the last year, but obviously with COVID restrictions, so you're in top shape. No excuses going into this fight.
Absolutely no. I never made no excuses, even in my house. I never made no excuses. It's just I always work my ass off in every training camp. Take it. This one in particular, even I haven't seen my family or Lee or anybody in like 2 months. Everyone just keeps telling me how focused and driven I am, because literally that's all I did. There was nothing else to do but boxing and study and know myself and know the enemy and just do my job.
Conor, finally, this man, he's ready. It's going to be a hell of a fight on Saturday. This is a real test for you. We saw against Formella, he went into his shell after a couple of rounds once he felt the power and the intensity. This guy won't go into the shell. He'll be there as long as he's on his feet or before he gets taken out of this fight. This is going to be a real war for you and a massive test in your career.
Well, that's fine, but every time we've said it's a test, you know, I've passed with flying colours. You know, with Koivula, people will write me off again, oh, he's too experienced, oh, he's this, he's that. And then what happened? And then Sebastian Formella step up again. Oh, you know, what happened? Do you know what I mean? I rise to the occasion, and I will rise to the occasion. I will make sure I match it. You know, Tom's trained me harder than ever before this camp. Ever. I mean, he's really pushed me, and I don't think, oh, I need a break. No, I'm needing a few this camp. Do you know what I mean? And when you're talking about sacrifices, try 4 years. Do you know what I mean? And not being with your family. Try 5 years. You know, that's hard, mate. You know, that's really hard, and you know, it's the only sacrifice I could make. Even me not being with my son now, I'm thinking, how much have I got to flipping sacrifice? You know, family. Why has it always got to be family? Why can it not be something?
That's not my fault, mate.
No, I'm looking at you like... no, I'm not looking at you.
You chose to do it.
You're right. Listen, I ain't sticking out in your head.
It's like when you spin the chair.
No.
I'm looking at this guy, he's like, really going, mate, hurry up.
No, but it's hard though, you know, even my little son now, baby Eli, we only had a few days off when he was born to just actually spend time with him. But obviously your mind's and emotions still on the fight. I was still really focused on the fight. When I'm holding him, I'm thinking about the fight. I'm twitching in my sleep about the fight. You know, the late night feeds, I'm thinking about the fight. So it's going to be nice after this fight to get this fight out of the way, so I can just sit down and emotionally relax with my family. My new family is me being a dad.
Well,
so,
I respect what you say, I just don't believe you were doing the late night feeds, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, well, mate, you're right.
Yeah, I know.
Sounded good.
Guys, cannot wait for this fight on Saturday night. This is two great fighters, a real veteran, if you like, sorry if you don't mind me using that word, in Samuel Vargas, hugely experienced, tough, always comes to fight, and I believe, you know, one of the biggest rising young names, not just in British boxing, but world boxing, in Conor Benn. This is going to be an absolute firefight on Saturday night, live on Sky Sports in the UK, live on DAZN around the world. Don't miss it. Gentlemen, if we could have a head-to-head here, please. To the camera in front first.
Okay, please. Make, please.
Right, gents. Good stuff.
Yeah.